1.3 million doses administered and over 163,000 Filipinos now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. More than a month since the start of the immunization drive, the government has barely made a dent in its goal of at least 70 million Filipinos developing immunity from this deadly virus. Experts are now changing the rulebook from modifying the dosing schedules to mixing different vaccine brands to boost protection. Reports of blood clots from some COVID shots are also raising more safety concerns. Let's now go above and beyond the headlines with Doctor Rontgene Solante from the country's vaccine experts panel. Doc, thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. Tell us, is it safe to immediately vaccinate a COVID-19 survivor right after recovery?
Yes, it's safe as long as that COVID-19 infected individual has fully recovered or has completed the isolation number of days, which is 14 days.
But how has the policy changed from 90 days to 14 days and now immediately after recovery? Isn't that too soon, Doc?
No, actually, there's always an importance of giving the vaccine to this COVID recovered. Remember, when you recovered from this infection, you may have the natural antibody coming from that recovery, but that antibody may not last long, so they can still have a reinfection. And that's the reason why that we don't need to wait for that 90 days. If there's an opportunity, particularly you're vaccinating the priority, the high-risk group, we should vaccinate them. And since they're already part of the allocation by the government, then we don't need to wait for the 90 days.
Okay, so Doctor, you're saying then that these COVID survivors can be given vaccination priority after recovery ahead of senior citizens and people with comorbidities?
No, it's like this, Rico. So we are like, if you are a frontline healthcare worker who have recovered, then you have to be given the vaccine. If you're an elderly, you have recovered, you have. So that's still in line with the priority.
So they still have to wait in line after the
Yes.
healthcare workers, the senior citizens, and the individuals with comorbidities.
Yes.
All right, Doctor, we were talking earlier to our CNN international correspondent in Paris, France, Melissa Bell, and she was telling us that we are now seeing a lot of mixing and matching of a vaccine to give it a stronger efficacy. Because last week we heard China's top disease control official in a rare acknowledgement saying that current vaccines offer lower protection against the coronavirus. Do you think that we should be seeing this mixing and matching in the early stages of the Philippines vaccination drive?
At this point in time, since our supply of vaccine is really limited, then we'll just have to focus on what vaccines are available and continue to recommend what is the administration or what is the dose for that particular vaccine. But giving a thought on the mixing and matching, yeah, that can be a possibility if you have if you are in a country where you have other options to give, especially for a country with a lot of these options. But my word for that is that we need data which vaccine can be mixed with what vaccine so that we will know how safe it is and how good the antibody or the protection will be.
And of course, right now, there's news about reported blood clot issues from AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Could this lead to vaccine hesitancy among our kababayans? Is this a concern for you? Because last week we saw a suspension in the rollout of the AstraZeneca and now it's back.
Yeah, definitely. Because during the early part of this vaccination rollout, one of the main reasons why most are not really into vaccination is because of the possibility of this adverse reaction. And now we have this rare blood clots reported in Europe, and our FDA, based on a precautionary measure, until our local review or experts will review it. And I think we made a review that the benefits still outweigh that very small and rare risk of getting the blood clots over the benefit of protecting an individual, developing severe and getting severe COVID. That's more of the advantage of getting the Astra vaccine rather than compared to the small risk of that blood clot. So we now resume with our vaccination with this particular vaccine, and we hope that our communication to the public, especially for those who will be given the vaccine, they should understand that that during the rollout, there will be really post-vaccination monitoring and including close follow-up of this who will receive the vaccine.
And at the moment, we've basically run out of AstraZeneca vaccines. What we have in stock right now in the country are Sinovac vaccines. When they come back, when we have a resupply of these AstraZeneca vaccines, Doctor, hopefully by May or by early June, will it also not only be administered to senior citizens, but also to individuals below 60 years old?
Yes, so the same recommendation as we previously had before the suspension.
Doctor? Doctor, are you still there? Have you been able to reconnect? Doctor?
Yes, Rico. Sorry. Okay, what's the question again?
Yes. No. You mentioned that the AstraZeneca vaccines, although we've run out of supply, the policy will remain before its suspension. Now, I want to ask you a question, Doctor. There's one IATF official who's handing out free virgin coconut oil. This has nothing to do with the vaccines. What's your take on VCOs to help patients suffering from mild symptoms of COVID-19?
Well, I cannot comment on that because for us, currently, based on our modality of treatment for mild, moderate, or severe, we haven't put VCO there as part of the standard of treatment yet.
All right. Thank you so much for your insights, Dr. Rontgene Solante from the Vaccine Experts Panel.